Good evening, konbanwa, welcome. Genki desu ka? Hope you're genki desu, hope you're well. Welcome back to my dojo, aka my kitchen, and it's good to see you on this Tuesday evening. Just going to let a few people join. We're just a few seconds past 7 o'clock, so I think that's okay. So welcome. For those that don't know me, I'm Sensei Scoot. For those that do know me, I apologise as I usually do for that sort of thing. Tonight's lesson then is going to be kata. I've been working on this with a bad back to see whether we are able to do it within our dojo, and it's doable. It's doable. So I'm going to shorten my techniques this evening a little bit, but not a huge amount actually, just to squeeze things in. You might see the odd hand go out of shot ever so slightly, but I will explain each technique as we go through it. I think it's really important to say before we start the lesson that Shotokan karate kata has evolved in the time that I've been doing karate. So in the 30 years I've done different variations of different katas with different senseis in different places all over the world. So there is always going to be variation, and the kata we're doing tonight is one of my favourite Heian katas, and that's Heian Nidan. Okay, and the reason I like it is because it's full of kihon, basic karate techniques, which are really good for beginners to learn, and for experienced karateka like myself to work on those techniques and put them together in the form of a kata. So Heian Nidan is the kata we're doing this evening. I've not done Heian Shodan, and the reason being for that is really it's more difficult to fit in. You go quite a way outside of the visual area of my camera. So I think that's the reason. Also, with all due respect, we've just had two fantastic videos put together by Connor of our Q grade students doing Heian Shodan, which I put up on the page just last week. And you can see Heian Shodan done very well there, I might add. And there's also a version of it on our YouTube channel if you wish to follow that as well. But majority of the class, and people certainly tuning into this, are well aware of how we do Heian Shodan. So we're going to do Heian Nidan this evening, and just that kata this evening, because I'm going to break it down. We're going to work through the different bits, etc. So hopefully you'll enjoy Heian Nidan. And then on Thursday, if this all goes well, we'll move on to possibly Heian Sandan, or a different kata altogether. So I will see. So let me say a few hellos. Important to say hello. Us Massimo. Us. Good to see you, mate. Right. So Andy Sensei, good evening. Tim, good evening. Sharon Sensei, good evening. Us Ken Sensei. So all the senseis here. That's really good. I'm hoping that Tim is surrounded by Connie and Neve. That'd be really nice. Us Thomas. Good evening, Harry Matthews, good evening, sir. Robot family, good evening. Andy, good evening. Evening, Lewis, I hope you're well. Evening, Beth. Zach and Christian Sensei are there. Jen is there, and Logan, good evening, good evening. And good evening, Isaac. And welcome, Harry. Some of your spelling is terrible. Not Harry's, but other people's. Good evening, Dylan. Good evening, Bronwyn. And oh no, Bron, you've hurt your leg. Hope you're not too badly injured. Please look after yourself. Good evening, Kayla. Says me with a bad back. Good evening, Harley Dojo. Massimo, I've already said. Good evening, Michaela and Betsy. Hope you're well. Sensei Carl, us mate, missing you, buddy. And good evening, Alana. Alana, 3 on the trot. Well done, you. That's very good. So, as I said, if you've just joined, we're going to do Heian Nidan this evening, and working on different elements of that within our dojos. Okay, important thing, you need to be mindful of space, particularly when you're doing kata. As I say, I'm using a small space. We've deliberately not moved the table around and stuff, so to try and keep it quite tight. And I'll explain what I'm doing if I'm not doing anything that goes in the kata in the way that we would normally see it. Okay, you can again refer to this kata on the YouTube channel. I've put a version of it that I did in my garden a few weeks ago. I'm going to do the kata 2 ways this evening, so one facing you as the camera, and then one facing away, because my understanding is for a lot of people that's one of the easiest ways to learn. So I hope both of those are okay. Okay, so again, we'll just do a standing bow this evening, no kneeling bow because my back's still not correct, but we will continue and do our best. Okay, so standing bow, I'm ready. Okay, and just a little bit of a warm up, not too much, so arms back, Okay, and forwards. And stretching out. And crossing over. Okay, just letting the arms relax, let your shoulders relax. And then rotating round. Okay, good. From sort of ichi, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hach, ko, jo. I'm sorry, ichi, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hach, ko, jo. And up, ichi, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hach, ko, jo. Okay, front, side, and up. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hach, ko, and you. Do you know what? I just confused myself there, thinking ahead of what I'm doing. Happens to the best of us. Okay, so shoulders forward. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hach, ko, jo. And backwards. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hach, ko, jo. Okay, just working the shoulders back. As I said earlier, this kata uses a lot of kihon, a lot of basic karate moves, and a lot of the problems with Heian Nidan are people's shoulders, so we're going to be concentrating on those again. Remember, that's my own personal focus and has been for the last 18 months. Okay, relaxing the shoulders, so not having them up here as we do techniques. So some of the techniques we're going to do today, we're going to do agiyuki, we're going to do uchiuki, we're going to do gakuzuki, we're going to do maigeri, we're going to do kiagi, we're going to do yurakan, shutoki, shion rugate. That's pretty much the kata. So there's a lot of kihon there, a lot of basic, which is really good for practicing our basic karate and putting it together in the form of a kata, which hopefully should be good. Okay, just shaking the legs and then feet together. Okay, and just flicking the feet out, kicking. Ish, ni, san, shi, go, ro, shish, hash, ko, haiju. Okay. Not too much for me on kicking because of my back, so I'm just being mindful of that. Okay, stretching, take the right knee up, bring it into your chest, keep it into the body, extend the foot out, bring back, in and down, knee up again, here, kick, foot out, stretch, bring it back, in and down. Okay, feet apart. Arms up, lean over to your right, migi, and over to your left, hidari. And back. And forwards. And that's where I'm getting pain, is when I lean forwards. Okay, so straighten the geese novies. And face the front, and ready, os. Okay, excellent, anyway. So, kata then is Heian Nidan. Okay, this is a series of 5 katas. Heian katas are probably the first katas that you learn in Shotokan karate. Of the 5, Heian Nidan is one of the most interesting, I think, and also one of the most useful, and I think good for any grade, and I really do mean that. Okay, I think for black belts it's very good to practice this particular kata, and I think for juniors to learn it's a great step up from Heian Shodan, which is following a different form, as it were. So check your spaces, please, when you're doing anything, particularly when we do the kiagi-geri behind us. So you need to be mindful of what's behind you. I have some very expensive, well, there's a kitchen and then there's my karate memorabilia, so I don't want any damage of that. So take it at your own pace, do it at your own level, try your best, and that's all we always say. Gambate is the Japanese word for that. Do your best, try your best, and hopefully you will enjoy this particular kata. So what I'm going to do, if I do it a very slow speed walking through, just to give you some sort of visual cue as to what it might look like, if you've never done it before, and if you've not trained for a while, maybe a little bit of a reminder. And please bear in mind that I'm shortening my stances deliberately to fit within the kitchen and hopefully fit. More importantly, it's the camera shot and the camera angle that's more important. I could create more space in the kitchen, but It's about the camera, it's not about anything else. Okay, so, right. Heian Nidan. So Heian Nidan means peaceful kata level 2. Okay, so number 2. In Ni, Japanese is 2. Nidan, second level. Okay. So once we've said the kata, okay, yoi position. Make sure that when your head comes up, you're focused. Heian Nidan. Okay, you're looking straight ahead. You're now going into battle, so you need to be looking everywhere you go. So I'll do it nice and slow, hopefully within camera shot. I think feedback would be good if I fit in and you can kind of see the kata. That'd be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do it slowly. So ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san, shi, ya. Ish. This is where I struggle to fit in. Now that's really difficult for me to do. It's too tight. The space is too tight. I'm shortening my stances, which is making me not doing the same ways. But it gives you a visual idea. That's the whole purpose of this. As I say, there's something to recap on in terms of the YouTube channel that we've got. You can see Heian Nidan on there as well. But I'm going to break down the techniques and show you those, and hopefully that will make more sense as we put it together in a kata. Okay, and we can build the kata a bit like Lego, as I've said previously. Whenever you get space and whenever you get time. Once you've worked out how to do the moves in terms of where you're going, so sideways, sideways to the forward, around, around, very similar to the same as Heian Shodan. Okay, so if you think of it as a letter I, okay, the letter I, you're coming across the top, then you're going down the leg, going across the bottom, coming back up the leg, kind of across the top. So think of it as letter I, okay, and visually maybe you better build that in your head, okay, etc. Okay. I'm very conscious that I might go out of camera shot, so I do apologise. We have done some little work on this to try and keep it so that we're in camera shot, but it's not particularly easy. I'm not going to lie. Okay, awesome. Heian Nidan. So our first move, then we look. Our hands come to this position here. So this is koshi kamae. So koshi kamae just means simply hip position. Koshi meaning hip or koshi, okay, and kamae means position. So this position here, but your hands don't stay there for long. So literally they kind of come here and straight up. And then we're doing a double block. Moroto Haiwanuki, Moroto Uki. You can come up with different various names of this. Moroto Kamae, there's all different types of things. But the important thing is to do the double block. So you're looking here, here, and then to here. And then you're in Kakutsudachi, so back stance. Okay, double block here. Now you want to be thinking of this line, okay, and then this line. This should be a 90-degree angle. Okay, so we're creating the first two sides of a square. So if you think of almost like a TV, okay, a TV screen, that's what you're trying to create with your arms. So as your arms come out, they're here. And visually, I'm looking between my fists. Okay, but this technique here, this is really important. My shoulder is not up. My shoulder is not up. This is my shoulder up. So my shoulder stays down. It's the angle of the arm that's really important. So the shoulder remains where it should be, nice and relaxed, okay, because then you're able to spring into action for your punch. If your shoulder is up, your arm has to make more effort, is less efficient. So that's no good. So we want to make sure that we've got this efficient technique that's come up. So here to here. Okay, so this double block, kind of think of an image of a TV screen-ish sort of thing to give you some idea. The second technique then is an urazuki. So this right hand does an uppercut punch. Okay, and the uppercut punch in boxing comes from there. So from this position here, Urazuki. This hand just goes up to sort of near the edge of the shoulder, ready to Tetsuyuchi. Okay, Tetsui is side hammer fist. Now we've done this before already in Heian Shodan. So Tetsui, hammer fist, iron hammer, hammer fist strike. It's the same technique, but this is done differently. So this is Yoko's. This is more side on than Tati, which is as we did previously. I must excuse myself, I can't slide on this floor at the moment, I'm just sticking to it like a bit of glue. Normally the leg would just slide, okay, to this position here. Then 1, 2. And then we repeat that the other side. So as we turn the head, the hands come here and then straight back up. Straight back up. Again, note this shoulder, not up, shoulder is down. This technique is nice and formed, okay, and then 1, 2. Okay, this elbow disappears as much as possible. Okay, people can't always tuck their elbows in, I appreciate that. But as much as possible, this position here. So if we forget the stance at the moment, which is Kukutsudachi, back stance, okay, from this position here, we're looking, double block, 1, 2. Here, block, 1, 2. Okay? So double block. 1, 2. Double block, 1, 2. Not with these, not with your shoulders. So try to relax those shoulders, keep those shoulders down. Okay. If you do what I did when I first learned this kata, which was probably 1991, something like that, I don't know, long time ago, as a yellow belt, I would have very much started like shoulders, because I was all about my shoulders. So big shoulders, and my shoulders would have stayed tense. Big shoulders, tense. And you can see what that does to the body. As soon as we tense our body incorrectly, everything comes up, which means your centre of gravity comes up, which means your ability to keep your balance is gone. If you were in a kumite match like we did last week, we did kumite, you'd be seen before you move, your technique would be terrible. So it's all about finding that balance, which takes time, and I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think I've made many an excuse over many years that kata is not my specialty. You know, I'm a kumite practitioner, I guess, to a bigger degree, or was. My balance now between the three is much, much closer than ever before. Yeah, they were very much disjointed before. It was more, probably I would say 40-40 kumite and kion and then 20% kata. So not a good balance with my karate. Karate needs to be balanced, 33 1/3% each, okay, with a little bit left for improvement. So we you know, all need to work on this, and including me. So that's why it's such a good kata. So once more. Heian Nidan. So looking, double block, striking 1, other side, same again, striking here. So the next move then, the back leg comes up. Now this is a transitional move, okay, this is not a stance we're moving into, but it's transitional. And I'm going to break it into 2 to start with, okay, so I'm going to go ich, knee. Ich will be the slide the leg up, and knee will be a back fist and yurakan, which we did last week, Tuesday and Thursday, which is a strike with the knuckles. Okay, back fist, but at the same time we do kiagi, yokogeri kiagi. Now I need to be careful with this, because this is actually how I put my back out in the garden, doing this particular technique. Not on this kata, but on another one. So we step halfway, koshi kamai position again, letting drop the shoulders down to take the tension away. The shoulders come up, we tense too much. Okay, here. And then from this position here, which I said is a transitional stance, we just pick up the front leg. Okay, and we're kicking behind ourselves, so we need to make sure that we kick here and then come into shutouchi, or shutouki block, facing the front of the dojo. Okay, so we're going to go from this position here. Okay, so kukutsudachi. So we've done this block here. Okay, and then half a step, looking, back fist, and yurakan. Okay, so back fist yurakan. So I'm going to flip around, face the other way, show the beginning. Heian Nidan. so that's from the reverse or the back. Yeah, it's horrible when you watch yourself back on camera. Goodness me. Okay, I don't like watching myself, so you may be the same. You may think you look maybe better than you are. I don't know, but I'm never comfortable watching myself. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So it's a block, strike block. Block. This bit here is almost like pulling on your target and bang, and hitting it. The bunkai of this kata, the application of how it works, is phenomenal. And I love teaching the bunkai of it. And I really enjoy that, but I'm not going to do that this evening. It will be too complicated, and I think people will struggle to understand me breaking it down to something completely different. But that might be a lesson for the future, the bunkai application of the particular kata. So what we're going to do is move on, practice those few steps, and then we move on to the next bit of the kata. So think of this as phase one, okay? So rei, and yoi, Heian Nidan. Okay, so looking first, sliding that leg out into Kukutsu Dachi, relax those shoulders, striking bang, Tetsuyuchi. Other side, then 1, 2, half a step, come up, you're racking Kiyagi behind, and here. Now your Kiyagi Geri, to help you with this kick, because I think it is quite challenging for a lot of people, is work on your height to your ability. So when I was in my 20s, my Kiyagi was always Jodan. Okay, I always performed this kata with a kick that would be aimed towards someone's throat, this area. Okay, today, bad back, my kicks are much lower. Okay, so this time I'm kicking maybe here, so floating rib area on my opponents. So I'm changing my mindset in terms of how I'd make this work against an opponent or an assailant. So important thing is bring the leg up, okay, and you want the knee to point towards the direction of where you want to kick. Okay, so this leg, the supporting leg, bend that as much as you need to help secure your balance. Because I think balance is the biggest thing around kicks. If you don't have balance, then you're not going to be very good. But to make this technique work better, stopping here and wobbling is not so good for you. Okay, so it's better to kind of come up and go together. Just go for it, go for it, than breaking it down. I think if you're naturally good at kicking and holding that balance and that poise, as I've got older and I've become stiffer, I think certainly lower legs, and with my knee surgeries and stuff, I find it harder now to do that. So for me, it's better to just continue to do that. I do love watching Akita Sensei when he just stands there on one leg, brings his leg up and then brings his Kiyagi Geri, and he'll get double that height, and he just holds it there, always in the conversation. I mean, that's really good body control, and I've had a few friends over the years that have been able to do that. Not something I can do now, unfortunately. So again, we work what we've got. We have to work what we've got. So make sure that from this position here, okay, we double strike here, come up, kick, and here. And remember the Kiyagi Geri, we're using the edge of the foot, sokoto edge of the foot. Andy Sensei will tell me if I'm right. So the edge of the foot, not the heel. This is not kikomi, and it's a snap kick. Snap kick. So the back fist is a snap, and the Kiyagi is a snap. So the two together work very, very well. And the bunkai is really interesting, the application of how that actually works against someone attacking you. So again, we do phase one. I'll do it facing you, and then I'll do it reverse. If you could do it with me, that would be awesome. Heian Nidan. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ish. Hey, anyai. Okay, and change. Heian Nidan. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ish. Hey, yeah. Hey, break. Phase one. I think one thing I'm very conscious of at the moment is I'm really very much focused on my kick, purely because it's causing me issues. try to connect the two together. So if you kick first and then punch, it doesn't work. If you punch first and kick second, it doesn't work. So the two have to kind of come together. So that the knee has to come up here and bang. Bang, here. I think I might lower my kicks. My back's twinging. So phase one done. Okay. So we're up to this position here, Shuto Uki. Okay. So I'll show you the beginning again, and then we move forward to the next bit, where I will come towards the camera quite rapidly. But we'll do it. So Heian Nidan. So one strike here. So Shuto-uki, step forwards, Shuto-uki, step forwards, Shuto-uki. And then from here, Osei-uki, Osei, pressing, Shihon, forefinger, yeah! Nugate, spear hand, ichi ni san shi, forefinger. You can do two finger spear hand, one finger spear hand, but this is forefinger, Shihon Nugate, okay? So from this position here, if I come back a little bit to just fit in, okay, so you're moving forward, Shuto-uki, okay, and then again Shuto-uki. I'm just going to move back slightly to give room so you can see what I'm doing. Osei-uki in back stance, Kukutsudachi, and then Shinkutsudachi, yeah! Shihon Nugate. You can see the issues what I said about distance. Staying within the camera frame is quite challenging when doing kata. But I hope this is helping you understand the basic technique what I want you to do and we want you to do when we're doing this kata. Okay, you can use the stuff that I've got on YouTube as a visual aid. It's going to have to wait until the dojos, I'm afraid, are back open, which we don't know how long that will be. But this is hopefully something that's helping you break down techniques. If you go on YouTube channel, you can rewind this and replay that. But that's what I do. Okay, that's what I do. If I'm researching something, whether it be to do with karate or anything, then I stop, I pause, I rewind, I check, I play it back, I look at it again, and that's what I do. Okay, I quite enjoy watching other senseis teach at the moment. I'm part of a big international group that are putting lots of stuff online, and it's really interesting to see how different people do things in different countries. All Shotokan practitioners, yes, most of the time, but not always. Some other different styles of karate. So lots and lots of variation. Ultimately, it's down to you and the way that you do your kata, to your ability, to your body shape, to your mind, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so from the Kiyagi-geri position here then, so we've done the back fist Kiyagi here, we step back after the kick into Shuto-uki, okay, and then we're moving forward Shuto. Now the key thing is to keep in this line, this embusen, the performance line, and it's quite simple really. If you look at your stance, you will go off centre, okay, and you'll go sideways and completely offline. Looking at your feet doesn't help you at all. I said before, feel where you are in the stance, and that's it. You feel as comfortable as you can. You can practice on the stance, at any point, just sitting in this stance for a few minutes, having a cup of tea, reading a book, etc. But at the moment, this is more. I want you to focus more on the line. So the line is simple. Point the hand. This is your yoi position here. So this hand comes up to the ear. This hand points to where we're going. Okay. This hand is then going to do Shuto. This hand is going to come back Higate. So we slide down that line and Shuto. Okay, and then we repeat. We just come through here and Shuto again. Once we've done the second Shuto, okay, the second Shuto is the Osei-uki, Shihon Nugate, slide through. Try not to, again, this is difficult to do and probably difficult for you to see because I'm coming towards the camera. That is keep a level line, okay? So don't go up and down. So once you've done your Kiyagi kick here, don't come up to do Shuto. Don't come up to do Shuto. Don't go down to do Shihon Nugate. So make sure that you are keeping that level line as much as possible. So from this position here, elbow, this is again 90 degrees because we're blocking. Remember, Agi-uki, Soto-uki, Uchi-uki and Shuto-uki, all the same, 90 degree angle, okay, right angle. So make sure that's there. This hand is just below the solar plexus, protecting that area, okay? So not down here on your belt. I think some of us black belts tend to midway it a few times, and that's maybe to protect our the stuff we've paid for, food. Okay, but here is ideal. So move forwards, sliding, and yeah. So the last one, the last position here, just let that hand drop as if you were fighting to parry down. So here, okay, come down here and Gyakuzuki, parry here, yeah! Shihon Nugate, 4-finger spear hand. Now I think as a junior grade, when I was first taught this by my sensei, I was like, what on earth is that going to do? I mean, it felt weak, it felt weird, very weird. What you need to do is try to squeeze your fingers together. I'm hoping this will come out on camera. So you squeeze your fingers together, okay? This makes them stronger. Fingers are stronger as a unit. Making a fist obviously makes sense. If you have 2 fingers sticking out, a fist isn't as strong. So keeping them together again as much as possible. Now the area that we're attacking with this in the kata is effectively the solar plexus. Realistically, that's not going to cause a great deal of damage to that technique. You're more likely to break your fingers, straight your hand. So we would really use this attack here. Nodo, I think it is, in the throat. Okay, so that's the area that we would go to. So keeping the same height, Oseki here, and okay, I always make the juniors laugh because I always say that when I teach Asahi, it's the most problematic, technical, fantastically wonderful, weird and crazy technique to do in karate, and it's just that. But it's more than that, it's you thinking about what it can do in a kumite context. It's a very fast, strong, powerful block if done correctly, so don't miss that out. And I think the issue with people once they've learnt katas is that they tend to blur the lines and they literally just do this, and they forgot Osei. Okay, so they forgot this technique, they don't know what they're doing, but you think of this. Show your technique. Make sure that you're able to show your sensei that in particular. So that will be the end of what I would call phase 2, okay, or the second part of that part of the kata. And not going to lie, that's the easy bit. Phase 3 is probably the most challenging and complicated part of the kata. Phase 4 is really quite simple and very basic. Now, phase 3, there are many variations of how to do this. So, just in my old previous organisation that I was part of, I probably learned 4 different ways. And then, since then, probably another 10 different ways of doing the next few moves. We follow a very traditional way, which is based more on Japanese Karate Association karate, and so we're doing a traditional way of doing this. So I think it actually makes more sense from the bunkai perspective, the application of it all, it definitely makes sense. All the light belts will tell you that, because we've agreed to it. So let me go up to the point where we are, up to the first kiai. Okay, then I will show you the next phase. And we move forward, okay? Heian Nidan. Ish. Okay, so we're up to our kiai point here. I happen to shuffle back here because I don't have any room. Okay, the next 4 moves are very simple. Okay, if you think of the end of Heian Shodan, okay, then it is just 4 shutokis. 1 to the side, 1 to the corner, 45 degrees, 1 to the side and 1 to the corner, 45 degrees. But the transition is not a spin round and pick up and plop the leg. Okay, we should not really be losing surface contact when we're doing, whether it be kata, kumite, kion, it makes no difference. Trying to keep in touch with the floor as much as possible on whatever surface you're on obviously creates better stability, and so therefore, particularly from a kumite perspective, having 2 feet on the floor is much safer, stronger, better than one foot. So try not to do this. Okay, try to, if you can, and again, I find it very difficult on my floor because I'm just sticking to it, but slide into that stance, yeah? I hope that makes sense. So when we get to the kiai point, okay, and I have to make sure that I'm getting camera shot here, but also not smash anything, we come into this position here. So we're rotating, we're pivoting on the front foot, so the front foot of the Zenkutsudachi, so the front stance here, okay, that stays there, and we are pivoting. We're going to pivot. And as we pivot, this hand comes up here to the ear, okay, this hand follows us around, pointing to the direction of travel. So from here to here, Shotokan. I apologise, I'm probably front hand is out of camera shot there. Then point 45 degrees, slide the back leg forward, Shotokan. And again, I'm sorry if I'm completely out of camera shot, I can't see obviously. Okay, slide across, Shotokan, hopefully that's in camera shot. Hey, and Shotokan. So all 4 of those. So again, from the ki, here, Shotokan, 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 Shotokan. I've rushed that just to show you the 4, I hope that makes sense. So try to think about when you turn, okay, difficult with space. I think that is the hardest thing here. You know, when it forces your stances shorter and you're not used to doing them that short or that long or a different way, it does mess around with your body a little bit, but you know, it's good for training, practicing, etc. So from this position here, ki, ya, here, looking straight ahead, but then we're looking to where we want to go. Pointing here, Shotokan. Pointing, Shotokan. Shotokan, pointing, Shotokan. Okay, so I'm going to reverse the whole kata up to that point, okay, so face away. Heian Nidan. And that's where we're at. Oops. There really isn't enough room here for my tall body. Yeah, I wish I was a bit smaller, a bit shorter, and I wish I had more space, but I don't. So we've got to work with what we've got. So breaking these techniques down is what I'm hoping is coming across this evening. Less so, you know, I'm showing you the kata to just give you a visual exercise, I guess, in terms of what it looks like and where those bits fit in. But please refer back to the YouTube channel and your memory from how you've learned the kata in the past. If you're learning the kata, yes, it's difficult to learn from a lesson like this, but actually I don't think this is any different to being in the dojo and me breaking it down, if I'm perfectly honest. You know, you can learn bits and pieces doing karate this way, from looking online, from reading books, etc, etc. There is nothing better than being face to face, working with a partner, ideally working with other people in the dojo, working with your senseis, and learning karate the traditional way. So we can never beat that, but this is the best we've got, and we have to work with what we've got. It's very easy in life to just give up and no, don't need to do it tonight, don't need to do it tonight, I don't need to go on that run, I don't need to do that cycle, I don't need to do that walk, I don't need to do that tonight. Tomorrow, putting stuff off, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. And so I think karate doesn't work like that. Karate has to be worked at constantly. It has to be massaged, manipulated, tweaked and turned, caressed at times. You have to look after yourself, which I'm doing this evening. There's all these different feelings and different ways, etc. And that's what makes it so utterly interesting for me in particular. And I hope that comes across when I'm teaching. So I think, you know, you've got to work. You can't just say I can't do it. That attitude means you're never going to come to get to your black belt and further beyond. Okay. Remember, the black belts are just white belts that have never given up. Okay, and that is just the true story. We've just continued to go on and continue and continue and continue. That's what we want the rest of our students to do ultimately. When our dojos reopen, whenever that may be, I want to see everybody back as much as possible. That's my dream, I think. You might have a different dream, but that's mine. And see everybody, and not everyone's going to be the same level again, and we're going to have to maybe do lots of refreshers, etc. But we can do that. That's it. That's easy done. But if you don't come back in the dojo, no one can progress. Okay, so those 4 moves there, relatively easy. I think we'll call those phase 3 actually, and so I'll go backtrack slightly and say phase 3 is actually quite simple. Phase 4 is the complicated area, and phase 5 is easy ish. You know, you have to put this all in context, I guess. So we've got to our ki point. Okay, so we're here, yeah, and we've done our 4 shuto. So again, just very quickly show you these. Okay, then we move to I think a group of techniques that, from a combination perspective, work utterly brilliant, and they're fantastic. They work in kumite and are really, really strong based. Okay, now first of all I'm going to show them face on because that makes more sense. If I turn that way you won't see anything and you'll be wondering what on earth am I doing. So we're going to go from the perspective of the 4th and final shuto. So we're at 45 degrees, remember, okay, and we will be facing the back of the dojo at this point at 45 degrees. Now this move, as I said, this is one of the most adjusted moves that I think I've ever learned in karate. I've been taught it so many ways, which is why I said earlier, but this is the traditional way, to my knowledge, okay, and the way that we're doing it. So from this shuto here, it's just the front foot moves into Zen Kutsudachi, the right hand goes under here, tucking underneath, so you can just see it there. Okay, so from this position here, look to the front, and it's that simple. It's an uchi-uki, but it's gyaku. Gyaku means opposite, okay, or reverse. So it's the opposite side. Tuck your left arm in as normal, keep your shoulders down as per normal, and just sink down. So you're changing from Kutsudachi here, Zen Kutsudachi, front stance. Okay? So not complicated, but there are different ways of doing it that are complicated, and so I don't want to show you those, not even to demonstrate, to confuse people. So that's the way we make that transitional move there. Very simple and very effective, and from a bunkai perspective, for higher grades, the application of it works 100%. Okay, so from here. Okay, so moving on from this position here, then this is where it gets slightly complicated. Maigeri, Gyakuzuki. So the Maigeri is dead straight, okay, and Chudan. Maigeri, Gyakuzuki, Uchi-uki. Okay, so Uchi-uki, Gyaku again. So you can see where we're going next. We're going to repeat that move. So from here, Gyaku Uchi-uki, Maigeri, Gyakuzuki, Uchi-uki, Maigeri Gyakuzuki. If that doesn't feel good, I don't know what does. So, Uchi-uki, Maigeri Gyakuzuki, Uchi-uki, Maigeri Gyakuzuki. And I need to slow down because I'm getting excited and enjoying myself, and I need to bring you back in the dojo. So apologies, we go slowly. Okay, so from here, Gyaku Uchi-uki. So sink this hip in. This connects together, so it's a strong block. It's a strong block. From there, sink down your stance, okay, keeping the same height. Maigeri, Gyakuzuki. Those two connect beautifully, I might add. Okay, block on the spot. Sink that hip in as you connect. Here, then again. Maigeri, so you can feel that connection there. There's no ki there, but I like to put one in to show the emphasis on how strong that technique should be. So, from here, Uchi-uki, Maigeri Gyakuzuki, Gyaku Uchi-uki, Maigeri Gyakuzuki. And then to finish that little combination off, nice and simple, Moroto-uki. Moroto-uki, augmented block, supported arms, yeah, like so. Okay, now when you're doing Moroto-uki, augmentation, joining of two arms being stronger than one. If you follow your ulna down here, your outer bone here, down to the base, the very base here, and then make a fist, your 5th metacarpal, which is the small knuckle here, sits in lovely. There's like a little bit for it to rest in, which is great. Okay, so don't want it up here, you want it here, and that's where this technique comes through. And the arms, it's like an uchi-uki, but it's a supported uchi-uki, okay, which makes it obviously stronger. So, you know, think of what you could do with that technique. I've seen somebody use this block in a kumite match as an attack. So he ashibarai'd his opponent with Moroto Uchi-uki and then followed up with a punch, which is utterly incredible to watch. So we can adapt all of our techniques from blocks into strikes, etc., and other way around. We can use punches as blocks. So just back to finish. So again, I will show you how this hopefully will look. Try to get all of the techniques in. So Gyaku Uchuki, Maegeri Gyakuzuki, Gyaku Uchuku, Maegeri Gyakuzuki, Maroto Uki, augmented block. Okay, and then I'll show you how that fits in with the kata. I'll turn and face away from the camera, do the whole kata up to that point, shortening on my stances as I go so I don't break my toes on all the furniture that is around. Heian Nidan. So this position here, we're at Maroto Uki. To finish the kata, quite simply, I'm just going to continue to show you the end of the kata. Back leg again comes around, so look to your right. Bring the back, almost feet together, turn Gidan Barai. I must apologise, units in the way there, so I have to move. Agiyuki, Agiyuki uprising block. Gidan Barai, Agiyuki Kirai. Here! Okay, so that's how it would look. So I hope that makes sense. So again, what I'll do now is show those last four moves to you, and then we'll start to connect the whole kata so that it makes more sense. Okay, so the last four moves then. So we've got to our Maroto Uchuki. Okay, so we're this position here in front stance. We come here and Gidan Barai. So Gidan Barai, hand me, half facing. Okay. Then upper rising block, Agiyuki, 45 degrees. Okay. Then again, sliding here, hand me, half facing. Here, Agiyuki Kiai. Kia! And that's our last Kiai. So our first Kiai is on the Shihon Nigate. Yeah! And our last one is on the last move. Okay, so I hope you understand that and the way that I've sort of done it. So we're going to start to put that together. So to look at the kata as a whole, I'll do it facing you and then I'll do it reverse the other way. Please remember, because we're short space, shortening stances, sometimes having to take an almost double shuffle, okay, to fit within. This is something I didn't want to do, but space and camera angles is just impossible. What you really need is a giant fisheye lens on your camera, but I don't have that type of facility. So, from the beginning, right the way through, the kata facing you first of all. Os. Heian Nidan. So that's facing you. Slightly cramped, but hopefully you got a view of that and are able to be able to look at that shortly. So again, do the same thing facing away from you, because I understand this is a good way for a lot of people to learn. I was always taught that as a sensei, you should never really show your back to your students. And actually, with a group of juniors, which we teach a lot of nowadays, you have to be looking at them, trust me. So difficult for me to go back to the way, the opposite way, I guess, is the way I was taught. So, but I understand from a student perspective, it's really helpful, which is why we're doing it that way. So, facing away. Heian Nidan. Us. And relax. And us. Okay, so phase one. Phase one. Phase one is this combination here. Us. Okay. And then coming up, Uraken Kyagi. Okay. Phase two, really from that position there, is down to the ki. So from the shuto here, shuto, shuto, also kishondugate. Phase two. Phase three, shuto, 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 shuto. Phase four is gyaku uchuki maigiri gyakuzuki. Okay, and then repeating all the way up to augmented block. And then phase five, downward block, up rising block, downward block, rising block, ki. And there are 5 phases to help you work on the kata. If you can break it down into those little pockets, then it helps you, I think, learn the kata, okay, because it's very complicated otherwise. But also will help you later on, as you progress through your grades, to understand the bunkai, the application of it. All kata, it's not a dance routine. Okay, we are not just doing moves for the sake of doing moves. So there is a reason for doing this technique here. So I said I wasn't going to do this, but just to give you a little bit of an insight into what we're doing and why we're doing it, because everything we do has purpose. Okay, Heian Nidan. So here, this is an Agiyuki block. Yeah, this is breaking somebody's arm, grabbing their head, punching them here. This is a repeat, potentially, but actually, from here, this is an ashibarai. This is a leg throw. This is a sweep, taking a person down. Rather than doing this technique here, and then finishing the person down on the floor. That's a black belt's view, so that's my visualisation of how this would work in a fight. Now, I always found that particularly difficult to understand, regardless of my grade, okay? But at my 3rd dan grading, one of the sensei said to me, Richard, just think of it as a fight. If you think of it as a fight, because you can fight, you're a good fighter, you will be fine. Sensei. And then he just came at me, literally threw himself at me, kicking and punching, and I treated it as a fight. I blocked him, I did everything, I passed my 3rd dan grading, as Sensei George and Sarah will be reminded of, because it was a heck of a thing. We did 5 hours, I think it was, in the dojo in the end. It just worked. It worked naturally. So there was me stressing that it wasn't working, it wasn't helping me, I didn't understand it. But actually, it was just one comment from a sensei that triggered something in my head that made me start to understand it. Okay, so apologies, conscious of space, conscious of time. My back's starting to kill me. So conscious of my broken body. That's improving, but very, very slowly. I really need an osteopath, but obviously not possible at this very, very moment in time. So we'll work through the kata again, just twice more, once facing and once the other way. So I'll count, okay, to help you go through that and tell you where we are in terms of each phase. I hope that's helpful. I hope this has been helpful as well. Os. Heian Nidan. Okay, so remember, this is phase 1, okay, up to the Uraken Kyagi. Okay, so each back stance, double strike. Ni. Okay, so that's up to the Shitoki, that's phase 1 done us. Then phase 2, Shitoki, Ish, Ni, Oseuki, Shomite, Iya! And that's phase 2, to the ki point there, to the ki point there. Us. Phase 3, Shuto, 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 Shuto. Okay, so come round, Shutoki, 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 Shutoki. Phase 3. Phase 4, Gyaku Uchuki. Just slide the front foot across. The front foot slides across Gyaku Uchuki. Okay, kick my Geri Gyakuzuki. Left arm Gyakuzuki, Gyaku Uchuki, sorry. Kick and punch. Augmented block. Phase 4. Phase 5 then, just going to give myself a bit more space for this one. So phase 5, come round and hit. So we pull hammy here. Agiyuki. Again here. So thinking not of bending the back leg, thinking just the hip. The hip here, hammy. Hey, and to the ki point. And it makes. Okay, so reverse, facing the other way. Again, I'll go through the phases. Us, Heian Nidan. So, 1, 2, 3. Phase 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Phase 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phase 3. Now phase 4. Gyaku. Maigeri Gyakuzuki. Gyaku. Maigeri Gyakuzuki. Murotoki. Phase 4. And finishing phase 5. Gidanburai. Agyuki. Gidanburai. Iya! Agyuki Kiai. Yamei. Amrei Us. And relaxing away. Amrei Us. Okay, so there you go. I did it. My job is to challenge myself, doing these sessions for you, making them difficult for me, hopefully helping you. Heian Nidan in my kitchen, and I haven't broken anything. There's no toes broken, and more importantly, there's none of the furniture broken. It's not as strong, it's not as fluid, it's not as great as it could be and would be in more space. But it's what we've got, and it's what we can work to. But hopefully it's helped some of you learn the kata, refresh the memory of those of you that know it well, and maybe think about things differently, tweaking things slightly if you come from a different dojo and joined our organisation recently. So that's Heian Nidan. Okay, Thursday we might do a different kata, maybe recap this one and then do a different kata. Probably not going to get to finish the whole kata in terms of, but we'll see. I might choose one where we can do that actually within sort of 45 minutes. Remember on Thursday we only train till about 10 to 8 to give people the time to go out and show their respects to the people in the NHS and the front workers, as it were, or people on the front line, as it were. Brain was going a little bit numb there. Okay, just to finish tonight's lesson, I thought I'd do something just ever so slightly different. So we're just going to do chokuzukis just to warm down. Okay, hopefully you're nicely warmed, but also to learn how to count in Japanese. Okay, so we're going to go up to 20 this evening, and then I'm going to give you the basis of how you can count in Japanese. It's not difficult once you've got the principles of it, I believe. Okay, so let's just put our left arm out. Okay, and punching. 1, just nice and relaxed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so from 10 to 11, think of 10, 10 plus 1, 1, 11. So 11. 10 plus 2 is 12. My maths is good. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 is 2 times 10. 20. 20. Okay, if you continue there to 30, 21. Yeah, 2 times 10 plus 1, 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 3, 3, 10, 30, 30. 30. Plus, 50, 50, 80, 80, and 100. Juju, no, that's not correct. Hyaku, hyaku. I think it's Hyaku, if I remember. Remember, Japanese language translates to English, considering that Japanese use hiragana, kanji, katakana as different types of, and some romanji characters, which are Western characters. Translated to English, it doesn't ever really kind of work perfectly. So certainly whenever I speak to my Japanese friends and I ask them to give me a word in Japanese, quite often it's different to different times, different people say different things, different areas say different things. That's no different to us, I think, in the UK, if I'm perfectly honest. But nevertheless, I hope that helps, and especially for the juniors. What would be wonderful is if you could learn to count to 100. We've had a young person in the past. I think the youngest person we had was a red belt. I think it was Elijah. Definitely it was Elijah. Elijah could count to 100, and I think he was 6, and might have even been earlier. His mum or dad might correct me, but and he could do it very, very well. So it just again sort of adds another little element to karate. Certainly when I was training as a black belt, we had to learn a lot of Japanese in terms of all of the techniques. So that would be stances, blocks, kicks, punches, parts of the body. We also did the physiology of the body from a muscle perspective and from a bone perspective. That was super interesting for me. So there's lots of different elements that you can learn outside the dojo just by Googling nowadays and looking on YouTube, etc. But if there's anything you're not sure about, then ask me and ask the instructors, because we love answering those questions. Sensei Andy is the oracle, so he basically knows everything. I thought I was good, and then I met him, and then that just changed things. But I taught him, so I'm going to take credit for that. So, but I think it's really, really important that we expand our learning from outside of just doing the moves of karate and understanding why we do what we do. And if, like me, you will then find it wonderfully interesting for a lifetime. I've been doing it for some people's lifetimes. So I hope that helps anyway. So counting to 20, we did 30, so hopefully that was good. Contemplating doing another question and answer session, a Q&A with Sensei, because that was really good fun a couple of weeks ago, and we had some really cool questions and really interesting questions. But maybe the next one, not just necessarily questions about me and my karate history, but about karate. So asking about kata, asking about techniques, punches, kicks, etc. Can you use this there? Can you do that here? That would be really, really helpful. Which Sensei Andy is the oracle? It's definitely the Smith one. Okay, I'm not saying the other Andy Sensei doesn't know a lot, because he's very old and he should, let's be honest, he's like Gandalf the Grey, but Sensei Andy Smith is the oracle. Okay, there isn't a great deal he doesn't know, because he always puts his hand up to answer the questions, annoyingly, as he knows. So maybe another Q&A, won't be done this week, but possibly next week or the week after. It looks like at the moment karate dojos aren't going to be open again for the foreseeable. I think realistically, we could be aiming in our minds, and I'm certainly am in my mind, is beach training in September at Holcombe for those that can come down and join us, because that's an open space and we can easily do that with social distancing. In fact, we do. So I think my mind is continuing with this format for twice a week, putting things on YouTube for you to watch, things on the Facebook Live. I've upgraded our website, so please have a look, give me some feedback. I've chucked a couple of YouTube videos on the bottom of each page. We're going to do a instructor's profile, hopefully, so you'll get to know the instructors a little bit more and understand where they come from and their backgrounds. But if you've got any ideas for the website, we have 6 pages that I can mess around with and do things. Please be mindful that I am not particularly good on that sort of thing in terms of IT stuff. That's why I got a website builder that was for idiots, so I can do it. And I think it looks okay. Some people have told me it's very professional, and I take a great deal from that, because it's not my sort of thing, as is this, to be perfectly honest. So lots of things going on outside the dojo, which I think is really interesting. And as I say, Thursday we will recap this Kata Heian Nidan and potentially start another one, maybe even get to finish that as well. But I hope you found this helpful. It's been a while since we've done Kata together, and as I said to you before, it's really about getting it in on camera angles and room in my dojo, which is not very big, I'm afraid. But we continue, look for different ideas, etc. Please tell me if that was helpful, and if I can improve on that, then I will do. Always looking to learn, as you know. That's my style. Okay, let's finish the lesson this evening with the Dojo-kun. Okay, you can see that the Dojo-kun is on our website. It's in our syllabus books. You can learn it you need to learn it in English and Japanese. So I think that's really important. So Kyotsuke, which means attention. So it's formal standing position in the Subarachi. Dojo-kun. Hitotsu jinkanku kansei ni surumoto koto. Hitotsu makato no michi o momoru koto. Hitotsu doryoko no seishin yashinau koto. Hitotsu regio amonjuro koto. Hitotsu keki no yo imashimuru koto. Alright, us. Excellent, us. Us. Thank you very much as always for joining me in my kitchen, and I look forward to seeing you again on Thursday or whenever you get to catch up with this lesson. Just kind of quickly, I know a lot of people have said some really nice things at the end there, and I just want to say I'm appreciative of your thingies. Kayla thinks that on my back is the best one. That's great. Most people think that's the best angle of me. Sensei Joe was teaching her own lesson. That's good. Oh, I like that. Another Sensei Joe. Good evening, Joe Potts. How are you? Hope you're well. Good to see you, young man. And us. Thank you very much, Beth. That's a really lovely comment. And I like you. Sometimes we have to go back to katas to kind of get our brains around those. Thank you so much, Jen, for the refresh. That's really nice of you to say that. Us. Thank you, Ewan. And thank you very much, Magdalena. Interesting lesson for you as a white belt. Probably fried your brain. Apologies for that. Us, Lewis. Thank you very much. And us, thank you very much, Alex and Lee as well. That's really, really kind of you. Feedback's important, yeah. Otherwise, I'm just talking to a camera, making a fool of myself in my kitchen. No Holly this evening to say hello. My apologies for that. The dog will be back at some point. Anyway, jamatane, oyasu arigatou gozaimasu. Us, jamatane. See you soon. Us, take care. Have a good week. See you Thursday. Right. Us. Good night.